Good evening, viewers. Welcome back to another episode of Career Chronicles, where we give you industry expert advice from industry trailblazers and profile local figures that are making an impact in society. I'm your host, Elliot Ipinge, and stay tuned for the next segment of the show. Good evening, viewers. Welcome back to another episode of Career Chronicles. For the expert advice segment today, I am joined by Mr. Martins Matengo, the Principal Customs and Excise Officer from the Namibia Revenue Agency based at Hosea Kutaku Airport, just to shed light on the procedures of importing telecommunication goods for our young youth out there that are trying to make a living. Mr. Matengo, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so Mr. Matengo, just to get right into it, what are the specific documentations and requirements for importing telecommunication gadgets into Namibia?
Yeah. Thank you very much for your question. I think your question was very specific. I'll go down to the specification.
Yeah.
The requirement or documentations for importing telecommunications, there are many. It includes for example, it includes the invoices. An importer should be having an invoice upon arrival. It includes the SAD 500, the packing list, the airway bill, as well as the, what we call clearing and forwarding instruction form. Okay. Just to expand more, the invoice is assisting customs in determining the rates of duties, as well as the and as well as ad valorem duty. So in terms of airway bill is a documentation which it helps as a receipt for the goods which were exported or imported into the country, which is very important to customs. Yeah. So basically, those are the documentation which are required. Okay. So in addition to that, again, those documentation has to be upon arrival, an importer has to engage a clearing agent who's going to prepare what we call a SAD 500 declaration form, whereby he's going to attach those documentation, which includes invoices, a packing list, airway bill, as well as the clearing and forwarding instruction form.
Okay. Mr. Matengo, we do find some instances where people, they import goods and upon arrival, they end up being confiscated for reasons that they claim they don't know. So in your experience, what could have led to these goods being impounded, so to say, or are there any restrictions for certain goods that are brought into Namibia but are then confiscated by the customs officials?
Yeah, thank you very much. The reason which could lead to the confiscation, first of all, is the lack of knowledge. Perhaps maybe our trading community, the importer, they are not having enough knowledge. In terms of importation of telecommunication equipment, you are required, first of all, to obtain what we call type approval certificate from Communication Regulatory Authority of Namibia, which is CREN. So when you are importing, for example, a cell phone, you are required not to import without confirming from CREN that whether this a cell phone is type approved and complies with the communication standards. Yes. So it's in terms of customs, we are in terms of Section 123 of Customs and Excise Act of 1998, as amended, we are authorized to detain or to seize any goods which does not prescribe itself to the requirement of Namibia and of CREN.
Yeah. Okay. And in terms of the duties and taxes, how is this figure calculated in terms of telecommunication equipment? How do they do this?
Yeah, in terms of the the duties, there are various factors which determines the calculation of duties and taxes. One of them is the description of the goods, and another one is the rates of taxes and the country of origin. So as you are aware, the commodities has got a different rate of duties.
Yeah.
So for you to come up with a proper assessment of duties, you have to use a proper tariff heading. So having them, all of them combined, you have a better assessment of rates and taxes, because it's a process which you have to go in terms of calculating the rate of duty. So for example, if you are importing a cell phone,
Yeah.
it has a rate of duty of 9% and a VAT of 16.5. So, but that when you are importing another telecommunication equipment,
Yeah.
it might not attract that rate of duty. So, what is important here as well is to, first of all, to know the description
Yeah.
of the goods and the way the goods are coming from, and the tariff heading for that matter, which is going to determine the duties and taxes at the end of the day.
Okay, so there is no fixed rate in essence.
Yeah, there is no fixed rate in essence, but it depends from the product we are importing,
Okay.
because the products are different,
Yeah.
and also the rate of duty as well.
All right. And in terms of safety compliances, are there any standards that importers should take into consideration when bringing their goods here?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, the standards which the importer should comply with is that which is provided for by CRANE.
Okay.
So because CRANE requires an importer to acquire what we call type approval
Yeah.
certificate before importation.
Yeah.
The reason of having a type approval is because you have to comply with the technical and safety standards,
Yeah.
which is preventing from perhaps maybe radio interfering, as well as it's for the purpose of public safety.
Yeah.
Perhaps maybe if you are a gadget or your cell phone does not comply with the standard, it might be harmful to the users as well as to the network at large.
Okay. The final question I have for you, Mr. Matengo, is we see also lots of people being put in a predicament where they imported their goods. For some reason, it could be perhaps a lack of awareness, or as you touched on, the proper documentation might have not been in place, but it seems like there has a trend where their gadgets are confiscated and it's a lengthy process. So what could be causing this delay for the goods to be given over and processed? Is the problem with the clearing agent, or is the problem on the customs sides, from your experience, Mr. Matengo?
Yeah. For example, the delays could be caused by many reasons, not necessarily that customs reason. Upon importation, customs will require you to comply with the requirement.
Yeah.
Whether the requirement is from CRANE, for example, then custom will detain the consignment until you comply with or you provide the required document, for example, a type approval.
Yeah.
So you'll find that importers, for example, you request them to provide those documentation. They will take a bit of time.
Yeah.
But as soon as a type approval is obtained within the reasonable time, maybe within 2 days or so, there's no reason why customs would not be able to process your documentation.
Yeah.
And another thing which should be taken into consideration, as I said, that the reasons could be many, because in terms of clearance, first of all, the clearing, the importer has to engage the clearing agent,
Yeah.
who's going to do the documentation for them. During that process as well, there might be some kind of delay before the document lands into customs office and and cleared.
Okay. And just final remarks, Mr. Matengo, your final advice to exporters out there, just for them not to find themselves in a difficult situation where they don't have the knowledge to properly bring their telecommunication equipment here in Namibia. Just a final word from NAMRA's side.
Thank you very much. In the context of what we are talking about right now in terms of telecommunication equipment, and my advice to the trading community and the wannabe importers, it's very important that they understand the process of importation, and then also they contact the right agencies in terms of, for example, Crane, for example. So those are the institutions which will make sure that if you have all the information on hand, the clearance of your goods will be efficiently processed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Matengo, for joining us and really giving us this insightful knowledge.
Thank you very much.
And there you have it, viewers. Mr. Matengo, a Principal Customs and Excise Officer from NAMRA, based at the Hosea Kutako International Airport, just giving us some insights on how to procedurally import telecommunication gadgets. Stay tuned for the next segment.
Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Feel like I should go.
Welcome back, viewers. For the Spotlight segment today, I am joined by Ms. Selma Kaulinge, Communications and Public Relations Manager at Nedbank Namibia. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ms. Kaulinge.
Thank you so much, Elliot, for having me.
All right. So just to get it started, Ms. Kaulinge, tell us more about yourself on a personal level and on the professional level.
Okay, well, you mentioned that I'm the Communications and PR Manager at Nedbank Namibia. So I am a communications, obviously, practitioner. Yeah. I've been in the field for over 13, 14 years. I started out as a journalist. Okay. Even I was a journalist here at the Namibian Sun. Okay. So this is my former employer. Yeah. So I worked as a journalist, but I studied communications, media, and PR at the University of Namibia. That's where I completed my degree. And like I said, I worked at several newspapers, including the Namibian Sun. And then I went into PR. I started at the National Art Gallery of Namibia and moved to MultiChoice, and then now I'm where I am here at Nedbank.
Okay, it's quite a wealth of an experience right there. Tell us about your journey as a PR officer in the financial sector. How have you found the experience this far?
So like I said, I came from media and art world. So working at Nedbank was my step into the financial world, and I think it's just like a journalist who gets your beat. You know what I mean? You have to study your beat. You have to study, understand what you are doing, understand the industry. I've been in the banking industry for like 7 years now, so I've learned so much. When I came in, terminologies and but I think you just have to always expand your knowledge, research, and make sure you're understanding, especially because you're giving information to media or the public. You definitely have to understand the industry.
And you touched on all these complex terminologies in the financial sector.
Yes.
And given your role as the public relations, you are entrusted with getting this information out. So how do you really keep it like simple and not oversimplified, ensuring that the public is really informed on what is going on in the institution?
I think it's a number of things. Education, I think working closely with media as well, especially around financial results. we invite the public, the media to come in and have a session when we give our results and try to explain them. You know, but there's a number of things we do with media. Also, as a financial institution, I think we are also the sponsor of the Women in Media. So in that engagement, we're also able to, you know, communicate what the industry really does. So yeah, just these different tactics.
Okay. And in terms of communicating with the media, you know, the media really has a strong presence in terms of getting the narrative out there of any institution. So how do you maintain this healthy relationship? Because you do find some institutions really clogging with institutions and writing what was not necessarily covered. So how do you maintain this really positive relationship with the media?
I think it helps that I'm a former journalist. I understand the newsroom. I understand who's who in the newsroom. I understand the pressure the journalists are under, because there is pressure there to get your story out. So I think understanding the newsroom is really important. At Nedbank, I always refer to the media as my colleagues because we work together to get our information out there. And obviously, media engagements are very important. But I think, I think the understanding of coming from the newsroom is very important. And I feel like, you should use the media more as a partner. And I feel like there's a lot of the media versus, you know, which, so if you use them as a partner, and even when it comes to difficult questions or the difficult subjects, really be open and honest and try to be as, you know, communicate, then I think that builds a trust and a relationship. Okay.
And given your journey, which is really quite impressive, what advice would you give to aspiring PR officers that really want to climb the ladder and really reach those levels of being a manager one day? What does it take to reach those levels?
I think you have to, have your goal. What is your goal? I think as a student, you shouldn't be scared to work for free. I did that. I was a student. I walked into newsrooms and I was like, you know, I would like to work, you know. Nowadays, don't really work for free. They cover maybe taxi money or, I mean, you're a student, so you don't really need, but you get a wealth of knowledge. If you walk into a newsroom, it exposes you to so many networks. You know, as a journalist at university, I got exposed to so many people that I otherwise would not be able to reach, you know. Because as a journalist, you can either be sent to State House one day, the next day you are sent to the informal settlements, you know. So try to get out there, try to look for work. Also, be curious what is happening in the media world, not only in Namibia, internationally. Try to look for a mentor maybe in the fields that you want to go in. I think that's also important. But I think those are some of the advice I can give young people.
Okay. Ms. Kaulenge, that concludes us to our interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us and giving us these invaluable insights. I hope our viewers at home also really picked up one or two things on how to really build your career and reach those levels. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Elliot.
Okay. Stay tuned for the next segment, viewers.
Hi, this is Abed Erastus, Executive Director for the Namibia Careers Expo, and we are here at the Welcome Cocktail, which is the opening event for the Namibia Careers Expo, which is taking place tomorrow on the 3rd and the 4th of April here at the Winter Country Club. In a nutshell, the Careers Expo is really a platform that allows educational, corporate institutions to engage with learners when it comes to career-related information, advice, and opportunities.
Good evening, I'm Dash Esteers, Group CEO of Sanlam Namibia, and thanks for allowing me just a short note as to why we are supporting the Career Expo. We at Sanlam believe that the future of our country lies in the hands of our children, and therefore we want to spend time and effort and make sure that our children are well informed and take educated decisions about their future.
Nurturing the soft skills. How do I work in a team? How do I solve problems? How do I take accountability for my own actions? How do I empathize with others? How do I put myself in the shoes of another person, knowing that we all come from different backgrounds, and I need to work with a person whom I don't even know did they had electricity last night at home.
As a regional director, when I just worked for 3 months, I suppose, when all the seniors were out back in Angwena, so she made me to act as a regional director for that period. So I want to say it is not a difficult one.
Good afternoon. My name is Abel Rastus, Executive Director for Namibia Careers Expo. We are here at the Ubuntu Country Club for day one of the Namibia Careers Expo. On this first day, we had a lot of students and learners come to the event. We had about 10 schools in attendance, plus minus 1,000 learners. Seeking, very curious for information, career advice and so forth.
Hi, my name is Lily and I am here representing Be Free. We are having a stall at the Career Expo at Country Club in partnership with UNFPA. We are talking about the Be Free Youth Campus, or the services and programs that we give at the Be Free Youth Campus for the young people. Programs include design club, we have a soccer club, we have a chess club, we have riders club, we have book lovers club, so many clubs. We also have a free youth-friendly clinic that offers reproductive health services to both boys and girls, and that is what we are here to talk about today.
We are here to give information pertaining to the work that we do at the UNFPA, particularly on adolescents and youth, and how really we can give them some knowledge in terms of sexual and reproductive health.
So us being here today is basically just to support our mandate, which is ensuring that every young person's potential is met by supporting platforms such as the Career Expo and ensuring that they access important information to make informed decisions on their career paths, and just ensure that they can reach their
internships and ambassadors that we give at Sanlam. So basically just to give one criteria that we have that's internships and ambassadors.
Hi, Albertina here. We are at the expo. We are actually just offering life covers, study policy, saving, and funeral covers. If you are interested, please make a 10 at the Country Club Expo. Thank you so much.
Well, WorldSkills Namibia is a division within the Namibia Training Authority where we promote skills excellence amongst young people. The goal is basically sustainable economic development. As we all know, Namibia's aim is to promote skills or sustainable economic development amongst young people. And through WorldSkills, we invite young people to identify their passions or their skills, and we create a platform where young people get to compete against each other in different skills areas. I would like to call on young people to follow our social media platforms where we open up application forms starting in the month of May to take part in selection competitions. The selection competitions take place at the regional level. So almost at all the 14 regions, that's where the competition takes place at vocational training centers. The overall winners then get selected for the national skills competition. The national skills competition then select winners for the international world skills competitions. So the aim is to ensure that we motivate young people in technical skills.
That concludes our episode of Career Chronicles. If you missed this episode, you can always catch the repeat on our website, oneup2.com. From myself, Elliot Ipinge, it's good night.